WandaVision, the show that could have been one of the best MCU installments, but it's not. The first 6 episodes is the good part of the show. The writing jumps off the cliff for the last 3. Most of the stuff in here can be explained though. So let's do this. First, I don't remember this was before the show aired or after the first couple of episodes or something like that. But the Marvel communicated that we are doing something different, so don't expect everything streamlined and know everything from the get-go. They are building the show well, so it starts with like some 50s sitcom. They say the episode 2 is the 60s sitcom, but I don't see the difference between the first and the second episode, so that's just one big episode for me, either way. At the end of the first episode, we see someone is watching a TV and all kind of mega advanced equipment around. So, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's see what happens next. Next, we have a bigger view that who are watching what Wanda is doing. It's pretty obvious that, yeah, Wanda is doing something in a city. Now, just I try to get from every side. There happens to be colored toy helicopter. It's later retconned to be a drone from outside. I would have been more happy if it had been a plant, just a toy helicopter, what is colored, because the first 2 episodes is not colored. The show gets colored right at the very end of the second episode. Then someone cuts herself and that's colored too. I don't know why, that makes no sense, but okay, we are going with it. And there are bits and nuances where what you can recognize it. Something else is also going on. Now, there are a couple of disturbances, and we have to mention the controversies too. So some of the bigger question is, who is the big villain of the show? Is it Agatha? What Agatha is doing here? What's up with White Vision? And I don't remember. Either way, if anyone wants to bring up Pietro Maximov, not called Quicksilver, so he's not Quicksilver. That will be important for the X-Men movies. Either way, he happens to be his X-Men variant, X-Men Universe variant, because I guess multiverse timey-wimey stuff. But I don't know why is he there, especially that it seems to be an Agatha plant. But Agatha did not have access to the body, so I have no idea. There is a huge, extremely gigantic gargantuan retcon in this show, because we learned from the previous movies that Wanda's powers are mind manipulation and telekinesis. That's it. That's practically Phoenix powers from the X-Men, except that the Dark Phoenix is eating energy on top of that. Now, here we see even what are her abilities. I guess they somehow got from the Hydra computers eventually that she has, yeah, alteration, telekinesis, and computer manipulation. That's not that big of a stretch compared to the original two powers. That's fine. But that goes all out of the window for the sake of now she has magic. No one said she has magic. Not in the MCU. She had magic, hex magic, or whatever you want to call it, chaos magic, whatever, in the comics. But that's an entirely different thing. There she never got established as a telepath and telekinetic person. No, she always only had this magic stuff. So someone should be fired from the MCU. This was these things were so annoying that I had to check up who wrote the episodes because someone really fucked this up. And I don't know who allowed this. And even if the writer fucked it up, the showrunner allowed it. Why? And practically there are two permanent writers, this Jack Schaefer and Peter Cameron. They should have said, that's not how it works. You cannot do that. Also, Kevin Feige and all the others should have told the writers, whoever came up with this shit, it's no, we are not doing this. Especially this Cameron Squires. He should have been fired if he came up with this bullshit. And this wasn't necessary even. So there outside is the military, SHIELD, whatever, FBI, CIA, everyone is there. Fine. I don't really have problem with them until the point where Muffin Girl from that show, the Two Broke Girl, is fired, is with Miss Social Justice Warrior, Monica Rambeau, and the Chinese cop, half Chinese cop, FBI, I don't care. I really start to hate the trope that the military is just useless. And the first person from the street can beat up a well-trained professional soldier. That's really start to be annoying and noticeable. Now, fortunately, the trio don't really do anything in the show aside calling there some other government division. Don't ask how, because they don't have phone or CB or whatever. Even the military don't have that equipment when Wanda is enlarging the hexagon energy wall thing within which she made this alternate. She has reality binding binding twisting powers as magic. That's her power. She is the reality stone. I don't know how she got this power, but that's what she has. So not even the military has equipment. They have one simple short-range CB radio. But somehow in the next episode they again have a whole camp HQ there. I don't know why. And I don't know why they didn't shoot Scarlet Witch when she came out from that compound. Because the military is useless, I guess. Now, what the military do have is a vibranium detector. I don't know how. At this point they shouldn't have really vibranium detector. And it could have been a vision detector. You know, the clone robot thing. But no! That's vibranium. Despite there being no vibranium. Because the vision with Wanda is just made up from magic. Yes, there is this video that Wanda is taking Vision's body from the military, but that's actually just photoshopped. Later we see Wanda's direct memories, and the military leader general is telling, yeah, we photoshopped the whole thing because reasons. He doesn't really have a reason doing so. So that's where White Vision comes. So the military always had the Vision's body and they repainted to white. They couldn't, they reassembled it for some reason, and they couldn't wire up, because it turns out to make Vision work, any version of Vision, it needs at least a starting charge from Infinity Stone energy source, and Wanda is retconned to touch the stone. We still don't know what the origin plan of the Hydra scientist was for the twins. We will never figure that out, I guess. So that's how White Vision comes up. Now let me see some stuff. Yeah, so Wanda has this stone captured. It's actually around the size, it's a bit larger than the size of her power, maximum power. So despite having godlike powers, she is not Omni. And even at the border, people are just standing still and doing practically nothing because she doesn't have the power to move them around, actually. But there is an interesting thing people noticed in the city, is that there are no kids in the city. That leaves only one option left. They died. They all died. Wanda killed all of them. And there is this claim from Agatha that when she manages to lure Wanda to some underground cave she set up somehow, there is really no rational, logical way she could have set it up, but okay, whatever. And then it was set up so in that specific place she can only use powers and no one else, meaning Wanda. Now this is important because she claims that Wanda never controlled her. That is bullshit. We know she was controlled because Vision at one point met her at the border of the city and really literally altered her brain functions to release her from Wanda's grip. So that leaves the only option that Agatha lied. Now the second thing is, Wanda is obviously stronger than Agatha, and undeniably. But is almost instantly get out of this underground tunnel room, whatever. At that second, Agatha should have lost. Pure and simple. Because when leaving the marketplace, she should have fallen back under the influence of Wanda's power, what is an AOE, area of effect spell, and self-sustained, so Wanda only just gives the power, otherwise the spell is running by itself. So that makes no sense. And again, this whole situation, this people enslaved, the town trapped and isolated and whatever, that's all Wanda. Agatha just used the opportunity to being there to get Wanda's power, steal Wanda's power, that's her goal. She doesn't really manage this and she ends up brainwashed, but you know. So Wanda, the show tries to push some burden of guiltiness to the general because she did this 3-cup 1 bowl thing with Vision. I don't see what was behind that, but sure, he wanted to make Vision a weapon. So what? How does that justify Wanda enslaving a whole city? It doesn't. There is no connection between the two. Absolutely zero connection. It's the two subplot are independent from each other. Was Wanda influenced to do this by Agatha? No, again, no. The whole thing is on Wanda. She's a supervillain. I don't say she's a willful criminal. You know, like Kingpin or whatever. She's obviously got mad because of grief. Yes, I agree. Completely agree. Does that make her immune to the consequences? Does that make her not a criminal? Does that make her not a villain? No. She is a supervillain. And you know, that famous bullshit with the Monica Rambeau and the soldiers arguing that, oh, you are the real evil and she is just emotionally hurt. That's at the middle of that season series, and Monica Rambeau is obviously out of her mind. She doesn't know what she is doing. She's stupid. And look, she missed 5 years while she were working on a field of highest tech. 5 years in the highest tech is, especially in the 21st century, is infinite time. There is no chance she will be just placed back where she came from 5 years ago. That's not gonna happen. So she's just an idiot. But at the very end, she still insists that Wanda is okay, Wanda did nothing wrong. Fuck you not. She has to be under forced asylum, insanity care, psychiatric treatment, forced psychiatric treatment. And if we cannot imprison her, then I'm sorry, there is no way she will not have to be eliminated, like all the MCU villains, because she is a villain. And from the 5th or 2nd episode, it was very obvious she's out of her mind, and we are way past the point of a situation what normal humans can handle. Where were the Avengers? Why were they not called in? This was an Avenger level threat. So this show started as an 8 out of 10, and all in all, for the first 6 episodes, I gave it 8 out of 10. Sure, there are some weaker points. Fine, I can sleep over those. But the last 3 episodes are atrocious, unacceptable, whoever is responsible for them. And not just the concepts and the retcons, but the writing is way too hard to follow for an MCU product. So that pulls down the show, an 8 out of 10 show to 3 out of 10. I'm sorry, but that's the situation.